making him the most successful driver at the start. Eau Rouge and Landion are by far the most successful on the current circuit. In this section, drivers are...
Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Round 3 of the Tier 1 series of Tuesday. Takes us to Stavelot at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium as we are in Q1 to determine the slowest 4 drivers out of the 19 that are taking part. Before we go on to Q2 with the top 15 drivers, and we will remove 5 more before they head on to Q3. The remaining 10 will battle it out to be on pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. And Crossfire going fastest so far. We're in the early stages of qualifying anyway, so we expect the track to pick up. And here is Crossfire in the McLaren 142.0. We expect him to be in Q2 as he is one of the faster drivers in the field. Through Malbody, staying out of the way of the Haas that's coming through, and Mollers has gone the fastest by half a second in the Mercedes, making his way down towards the notorious Eau Rouge corner. Just seen that Jamie has retired from the session, and it doesn't like he's going to be setting a time at all, so that'll be his qualifying session done. What will he produce in the race later on? Into the last 12 minutes then. We've had 6 minutes of Q1 already. The drivers know the drill in terms of this qualifying format anyway. They know the circuit very well. 7 kilometres it is, 19 corners, travelling in a clockwise direction. Spa is scheduled to host for the next 2 years, including this year. The Belgian Grand Prix, that is. It's uncertain as to whether it will remain on the Formula 1 calendar. But Spa is very much a fan's favourite. If you have joined us on the stream, we do welcome you. Feel free to get involved in the live chat if you ever so wish to do. If you're not one of those subscribers to the Formula Racing League, now is your opportunity to do so. We've reached over 1,000 subscribers at the beginning of 2024. It'd be fantastic if we continue that run and try and get to around about 1.5 possibly by the end of the year, if not more than that. bottom four at the moment. We've got Lynx, Finn, Kryplax and Jesler, but they have yet to get a time on the board, those lot. Looks like Talbot has done his bit for Q1. He hasn't crashed out on circuits, retired in the pits, so he'll be able to continue in qualifying should he remain in the top 15. We look at Sausage Joe, who's coming towards Lacon. Heading down through Bruxelles. And there's the corner with no name. And it's a fast sweeping left-hander of Paulon. It's a smooth right and left chicane of Lafagna. And down towards another right-hander of what is Campus, I believe, and then it's Stavolo that he's going through now. We already heard the news of F124. Official release expected to be the 31st of May, which is the earliest that Codemasters have released its Formula 1 game cycle in a year. And Sausage Joe's gone third fastest for your information. That time should be good enough to see him through into Q2. And we look at Rosie, who's on the medium compound. He'll be saving the softs for later on. When he gets into Q2, he needs to concentrate on getting a really solid lap here on the mediums. So 142.3, and that's good enough for him. Here is Lynx in the Williams. Coming through over the line, it'll also be a 142, it's a 142.6, but he set that time on the soft compound. Kryplax has come back into the pits. He messed up on his latest run. We'll stay with him because he's the most meaningful driver on circuit, which we need to be focusing on, as he is in the drop zone. Paddy, who is in 16th place, the only driver to set a time but be in the drop zone, will need to go back out and get another run completed and improve his time. And here is Finn. Coming round. Now, heading towards the bus stop chicane. We ride on board with Finn. I think this is going to be a good enough time to do the 1 minute 42s. It's 142.4, that moves him into 8th position. And Big Balls Bells is into the drop zone now with Paddy, Jammy and Kryplax. And Josh Rose is just out there at the moment. Well, he's come back in. He's on the medium compound he's set that time on. So looking at who set their times on what, well, I can see that John Mullis's time was not set on the wets. There's no way that's going to be happening. So the only drivers that have set their times on the the medium compound are Rosie, who's in 6th, Major Castleman in 10th, Marcel in 13th, and Josh Rose, who we just saw a moment ago, in 15th place. And there is Lynx coming back into the pit lane. And Jesler has decided to retire from the session. He's got a good enough time anyway. In terms of getting through, you ideally want to be going for a low 1 minute 42. That should be the safety net. Definitely need to be in the 1 minute 42, so that's a certainty. Marcel, who's gone out there now, he's aiming for a place in Q2. He set his time on the medium compound, but he feels that he needs to go again if he is to ensure he is into the top 15, into Q2. 22 laps it will be for this race. Drivers have been to Mexico and Portugal so far. Spa is the stage for round 3. See, Marcel will be coming around to complete his outlap and begin what we believe will be his last run. So he's got to make this count. If he doesn't make it count, he will be in trouble. So all those coming back onto the circuit are expected to improve on their times, given how much the track will be evolving. Here's up Marcel then, exiting La Source, and takes us down to Eau Rouge. How does he take it here? Well, he takes it as smooth as possible, given the downforce levels that these cars have. Even though it's a circuit that is not most special for downforce, it is very much about straight line speed, but you need some form of downforce for the middle section of the circuit from Les Combes all the way to Stavelot. Biz is retired in the pits. He knows he doesn't need to go out again. And here is Marcel, making his way through. Tier 1 standings, as far as they are. Well, Moller's won the first race in Mexico. The second one was won by Rose in Portugal. We expect to see one of those two fighting for the championship. And here's Marcel, who is coming through the last section of the lap. He will improve on his time. It'll be a 1:42 at least. Here he comes, and it's a 1:42.4, and 8th position is where he ends up. He'll be through into Q2, no problem. Tyrant has started the lap. Rose is on a lap now, with a little over 2.5 minutes to go. He did his first run on the mediums, and he's now on the soft compounds as he makes his way through Pouhon. Slides through Fagnes, and now he's heading through the right-hander of Campus, and then it's a fast section of Stavelot, which is very easy to get wrong, to be fair. Rose doesn't need to be pushing too hard at this stage. In 15th place at the moment, Tyrant is ahead of him. He'll be the driver at risk should Josh improve. Coco's out on circuit in the AlphaTauri. Here comes the Hassan of Josh Rose. How does he get on? Goes up to 6th position, and that puts Tyrant at risk. He's on a lap right now though, and he's heading towards Campus and Stavelot. And he's up by 3/10 at this stage of the lap. He needs to find some time in the last sector, because even though he improves his time, he'll still remain in the same position as where he is currently. Big Balls, Paddy, Jamie and Cryplax are the drivers in the drop zone at the moment, but that could change in the next couple of minutes. Here's the Alpine of Tyrant coming round. Is this going to be an improvement? It is, and he goes up to 13th position with a 1:42.6. Paddy's exceeded track limits, as has Cryplax. So Paddy will try again. I don't know if he's noticed he's exceeded track limits on this lap. Big Balls will just be preparing to go for his last attempt. Next in the last corner now, rear wing open, and he begins his last lap in 16th place. Paddy has come into the pits. His qualifying session is done, as is Cryplex, so it'll be either Big Balls, Coco, Lynx or Tyrant going out. Just looking to see how Tyrant's getting on. Well, he did his last run, to be fair. Lynx is going through the first sector, and he's improved through sector 1. And it looks like Coco's backed out on this lap, and he can't improve. That secures Lynx's place into Q2, and for Tyrant, and for Major Castleman. So it's either Coco or Big Balls who'll be going out with Paddy, Jammy, and Cryplax. Big Balls is down in sector 1. Not finding enough so far. I dropped it on the exit of turn number 9. And down through Prawn once more. And he's getting kicks of oversteers. He got the power down coming through Funya. And I doubt he's going to be improving by sector 2 here. Now he's 4 tenths down his Big Balls. He's pushed too hard on the lap. And that is pretty much his qualifying session done. Big Balls has slowed down, I think, because he knows he's not going to be improving. And that settles Q1. And the drivers we lose at the end of the session are Big Balls, Paddy, Jammy, and Cryplax. Watch Major Castleman, who's exceeded track limits on this lap, and he's come back into the pits. So we just wait for the session to be officially done, and we'll have a look at the times before we head straight into Q2. So John was fastest at the end of Q1, but the drivers we lose are those you can see highlighted in red. Big Balls, Paddy, Jammy and Cryplex. They will be starting from the back of the grid. We go on into Q2, where we'll lose the next slowest 5 to determine who will go through into the pole position shootout to decide who will be starting at the head of the field.
Outside of the ring of gold, it has been used several times for the Tour de France. 2008 saw a frantic battle between Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen. Conditions were bad due to a late shower of rain, causing Hamilton to spin before resuming his lead in the closing lap, where Raikkonen crashed. Stewards went on to issue a penalty to Hamilton due to alleged corner cutting, dropping him down to 3rd place. British World Champion Jim Clark took 4 consecutive wins here at Spa between 1962 and 1965, a feat since matched by only one other driver, Ayrton Senna. Spa demands extreme concentration and skill from all drivers. Keep a close eye on the action around Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, which are taken flat out.
Here we go then for Q2. He will be the slowest 5 to drop out. We've got 15 minutes for their times in. We expect them to be doing 2 runs. I highly doubt anyone's going to be using the medium compound. They'll be on the softs. Pilot Josh Rose, who should be gathering tyre temperature at the moment. Now his biz is going ahead of the Williams there of what looks like Crossfire. And let me know who your money is on for this evening. as Bids coming around to start the flying lap then. The track is still green, of course. There's been an interval between Q1 and Q2. Down to Eau Rouge he goes. Bids heading up the hill. So far this season, as far as Bids' championship is concerned, he missed the last race in Portugal but did Mexico. You get 40 points for a championship win, it's 32 for second, 26 for third, it's 20 for fourth, and it's a 2-point difference down to 15th position who would get 1 point. So it's 20 for 4th place, 18 for 5th, 16 for 6th, 14 for 7th, which is where Bids ended up in Mexico. He's coming round. Sector 2. All 15 drivers are out on circuit now. They need to do their best to make sure they don't impede each other, otherwise there could be some steward inquiries afterwards. Bids will be aiming for at least a 1 minute 42, but I think it's going to end up being a 1:43 on this one. It's a 1:42.9, but it's definitely not as quick as what he had posted in Q1. Go to Crossfire, who is next in the McLaren. His time is quicker than Bids, it's a 1:42.6, and John Mullers was able to beat that straight into the 1 minute 41s, and that might save him from having to do another run later. Mullers fastest so far, but he's beaten by Bran in the Ferrari, 1:41.8, over half a tenth quicker. Sausage Joe now going up into second place, with Lynx up in fourth in the Williams, and it's Josh Rose in fifth place. Jesler, Coco, Crossfire and Bids make up those who have set times so far, but we've still got some drivers who have yet to post a time. Rosie is one of them, Finn is another, and Talbot goes up to fifth place for a moment, but Major Castleman is able to beat that and go to the top of the timing pages. Finn only goes 12th. We've got Marcel ducking into the pits, he must have made a mistake somewhere. Go to Rosie, who's next to cross over the line now. He'll go into the 1 minute 41s, no problem, and that's him to the top. And Tyrant is coming around to complete his latest lap, and he goes only P7. And I would expect him to be back out for the final few minutes to improve his time with the track evolving. So at least we got nearly all the drivers to set a time there, respectable lap time. In terms of those that are relatively safe, well, Rosie's definitely safe, I would say. Major Castleman, Bran and Joe, maybe, and Mullers. But those from Lynx downwards, you'd probably say that they need to go again. Tyrant coming round, Bruxelles. I would expect Marcel, does he decide to go back out onto the circuit straight away? We can't quite see him coming out just yet right now, but he will do at some stage. Just looking into the pits in the outside, only so fast, there's no way you can bank on that to get him through. Given the length of the circuit, he won't have a lot of time to do 2 more runs, although he could give it a try if he wanted to. I will tell you that Marcel is back on the circuit now, so we'll stay with him because he'll be the next driver to start a flying lap, whilst those wait in the pits, watch him do his run, and decide whether it's worth putting on a fresh set of tyres to give them the best chance of making it into Q3. As far as the championship is concerned, Mullers leads by a single point over Rose. They both have a win and a second place each. But given that Muller's got the maximum in Mexico with the pole position and fastest lap points, he is ahead for that particular reason. Then Comsha, who's in third place. I can't see him on the screen in terms of being involved, although he may be in the AlphaTauri perhaps. Don't know for certain on that, so I may need to be filled in on this. I am filling in for someone who would be doing this regularly. Apparently wasn't around last week. What can Marcel do? He's one of the quicker... He's definitely got the capability of being in the top 10, so it's worth keeping an eye on how he gets on here. The driver at risk is Jesler in 10th. And should Jesler be moved down, it'll be Josh Rose in that position of being the driver at risk. Marcel starts a flying lap then. And Tyrant has decided he's not going to go back out again. And there's a car coming out who might actually give him the tow if he's lucky. And it's actually Bids who is on the track. I think he might actually give his teammate the tow on the back straight. The Camel straight, that is. Let's have a look. Does he give him the tow? Does, you know. He plays the team game, does Bids. And Marcel is able to make the most of that. It's 30.0 in Sector 1. Then coming down the hill. Riding the curbs. Rosie's decided he's not going. He's not heading back out. Neither is Bran or Joe. The drivers in the bottom 5 are Coco, Crossfire, Bid, Finn, and Marcel, who's yet to get a lap time on the board. He's about to do that within the next 30 seconds. He's down in Sector 2 on a 1:15. We'll see whether he actually does make it into the 1:42. So low 1:42 is the minimum that he needs to be doing. Here he comes through the chicane. Now does Marcel. And it looks like he's way down from where he needs to be. It's a 1:43.5, and he's in 15th place, last of all those with the times. He definitely lost some time in the second sector. Now he's got some work to do. And he needs to do is he going to return the favour for his teammate? Bids has started the flying lap now. And in fact, Marcel is way up ahead. In fact, Bids has exceeded track limits. And that could be that for him, unless he decides to back off. Save the battery and go again. Here's Crossfire, making his way through Sector 2 now. 7 tenths up from before is Crossfire. He did his time earlier on the softs, but if he continues his pace up, he'll most certainly get into the top 10 here and stay there. Jesler goes to the top, 1:41.1. The track is very much picking up now, with 3.5 minutes to go. Crossfire is next to head over the line. 1:41.7 is good enough to move him up into P3. Lynx, who is out on circuit at the moment, has exceeded track limits, so he's not going to be improving. Finn has started a lap. Bids will obviously need to go again. We'll stay with Josh, although I think has he backed out of this one? I think he may have made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, he's backed out of this one. I think he's safe though, to be honest, is Josh. As Lynx comes back into the pits, is he going to have enough time to stick a set of tyres on and go back out again? Or is that him done? No, that's his Q2 session done. Is that his qualifying session done for tonight? Well, Finn is up nearly 3/10 in sector 1, but needs to find... Oh, how much time does he need to find? He needs to find well over a second if he is to get into Q3. So he'll ideally want to be in the 1 minute 13s by sector 2. Yet. It's 1:13.7. He's well up now. He's well in play here. Is Finn? There's a car ahead of him. He might just get a tow off his teammate of all people, which is Josh. Does Josh stay out of the way here? He doesn't. Ooh, that was very close. He went off the circuit there, did Josh? But I think he should have got out of the way sooner. Finn coming towards the line now. It's a 1:42.0, and he goes up to 10th place and knocks out Tyrant. Finn isn't through yet though, because there are still 3 drivers on circuit that can improve. Bids is one of them. 6/10 up in sector 2 from before. Coco's just started his last lap. William Talbot is out on circuit, but is he going to get round in time before the checker flag falls? We're not seeing how much time we've got left in the session, but we'll keep an eye on Bids for now to see whether he does improve. He needs to find at the very minimum 9/10, if not a second. It's a 1:42.2. It's not enough for Bids. He is out of qualifying. Now Coco is down in sector 1 from before. Rise the curbs. You can see how hard he is pushing coming out of Malmedy. William Talbot should get over the line before the checker flag. And he'll be the last driver. I think Coco's backed out of it. He has done. So he joins Marcel, who does not make it through. Bids does not make it through. And Tyrant won't be making it through. So it'll be either Finn or William Talbot joining those 4 at the end of Q2. And we'll sit out Q3. Here he comes over the line, as Talbot. He needs to find over a 10th, and that'll be enough for him to make it into Q3. The checker flag will be coming out any second. There's Talbot heading up the hill. DRS open on the Camel Straight for the McLaren pilot. And I think he's level with his time from before, so he's certainly in play, is Talbot. Is he finding enough as he approaches the hairpin of Bruxelles? To the corner with no name. As he rides the curbs, or almost rides the curbs on the exit of Port. There's an Alfa Romeo going slowly on the exit of Stavelot. Talbot should be able to make his way through past that. Here he is, look. There is Bids, who should stay out of the way here. He does stay out of the way. Talbot coming towards the line now. We didn't see whether he improved through sector 2. I'm going to assume that he did. Through the last corner now. He needs to find a low 1:42 or a high 1:41. He's done it! He's through! Talbot goes 8th. Finn is knocked out. He does not make the cut. Lynx can breathe a huge sigh of relief as well. Muller's only ended up 9th, but he did enough to make it through. The 5 drivers we lose at the end of Q2 are Finn Eltz, Tyrant, Bids, Coco, and Marcel. And Bids has yet to cross over the line. He needs to get over the line, really. Don't know what he was doing there, in all honesty. Just get over the line and we can get on with Q3. So we lose Finn, Tyrant, Bids, Coco and Marcel at the end of Q2. The top 10 will go through to Q3 to battle it out for pole position and determine the grid at that particular part of the field. We're back for Q3 in a minute.
Spa demands extreme concentration and skill from all drivers. Keep a close eye on the action around Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, which are taken flat out in order to get good speed into the straight following them. Spa was absent from the F1 calendar during the 2003 season, this time due to tobacco laws, which prevented several teams entering due to their current sponsorship clauses. Ferrari has seen a wealth of success here with more wins than any other constructor. Many world champions. Corner is a favourite among fans who have jokingly dubbed the similar corner of Istanbul's Park Circuit, Eau Rouge. British World Championship class.
Sudden the heavens are opened. The heavens are open, I should say, and the drivers are getting out there as quickly as they can to get the best conditions possible for their runs, because these times are going to be what determines the grid for the race. Well, it's wasting no time at all. Find enough grid. The drivers are going to need as much space as they can, which is not going to be easy to do. Will Mullers get through the lap safe and sound here? And so he starts what could be the lap that determines who gets pole. Down the hill he comes. Does he go through Eau Rouge safely here? And he does so. I think one of the McLarens has had a spin, which will be Talbot. So, see the raindrops are soaking up the circuit a lot, more than we were doing 2 minutes ago. Down the hill comes Mullers, making his way through the left-hander with no name. Seems to be coping well with the slicks. So got the remainder of the lap to get through. Mullers will be the one on pole today. As he slides his way through Stavolo. Praying for the lap to end now. So one more braking zone that he needs to get through. Comes through the bus stop chicane now. Is this lap going to be good enough to put Mullers onto pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix in the FRL So 1:46.9. We expected a reduction in lap time anyway. Some drivers have exceeded track limits. And Bran goes faster than Mollers. Joe goes up into second place. And Crossfire only good enough for 4th fastest. Here's Rosie. Rosie coming through in the Red Bull. Lights up the rear as he gets the power down. 1:48.0. Look at Lynx, who's coming through. Aiming for a good time. It's a 1:48.3. And Talbot, who made a mistake on the exit of the last corner to begin his lap, is coming straight into the pits. And I think it's safe to say that is that for Q3. It's just a shame it's over very, very quickly. And Bran, providing the track doesn't dry out, will start the Belgian Grand Prix on pole position ahead of Joe. He's had a good session so far as Bran. And this could be the race that kickstarts his campaign. You can see DRS is disabled now, so that is pretty much the confirmation that the track is too wet to be using it. And they all may as well make their way back into the pits. I don't know for certain whether the race is going to be wet or dry. Someone might try and stick on a set of intermediates just to explore the conditions, which for a driver's perspective could be useful, but for a fan or a spectator it may not be the most appealing thing in the world. And here is Bran, who's coming straight into the pits. He must be thinking that surely must be that. Championship point will be coming his way for his efforts. I can tell you that one of the Hasses is continuing on, that's Rose. He feels that there's still time that could be found, but surely he must realise he's not going to go any quicker than what he's already done. You can see more and more drivers retiring because they'll know that the session is up for them. There's Rose, is going through, Rose now clipping the curve, sliding around. Won't be able to use the DRS because that's disabled by race control. Yeah, he didn't even go up into 8th gear, did Josh. Didn't even put the time on the board actually on the lap data, so my apologies for that. He's definitely not going quicker than before, and I think he has to accept defeat on this one. So he's coming through, and Talbot is on the circuit on intermediates because he feels he might just move in front of Josh, but I highly doubt he'll do so. He's on an outlap, is Talbot, so he's just getting an opportunity to explore the conditions before he starts his run. I wonder if there's any other drivers that may decide to stick a set of intermediates on and head out there. Well, Rose is definitely not, he's retiring from the session. So Talbot starts his lap now. So Talbot coming down the hill to Eau Rouge. Probably look at around about a 32 or a 33 in sets of 1. Let's have a look and see what his time says. 31.6. It's around about 1.5 seconds slower than what you would do on the slicks on a set of soft compound tyres. Now it could beat a 1 minute 51.7 that Josh had posted. Are you looking at around about a 1:18 through sector 2 maybe? It's got so many corners to get through though, that's the only thing. for William. See, Josh has retired from the session. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Brun did the same, and Lynx. So there's Talbot coming through set to 2 now. It's a 1:21.2. And he's definitely in play to get ahead of Josh. Can he get ahead of any of the others? I highly doubt that he will. But he'll give it a good old go. No, he's too far back, so his only hope really is getting ahead of Josh Rose for 9th. And Talbot coming over the line in a moment now. And he does in fact move ahead of Josh into 9th place on the intermediates. And that settles it. And Talbot may as well... He's got 2 minutes to himself, so he may decide to stay out there, burn off more fuel, and get another run in there. We'll see how he gets on with this. He was running about a 31.6, I think it was, in Sector 1 last time around. He's not even quicker this time. He's a 31.7, sliding his way through Lacombe. Through Malmedy, no problem. Through Bruxelles. This is the corner with no name. I don't know how much fuel he's put in the car. I think there's only about a lap or so left, or a lap and a half. So he may as well keep going. He's able to find the time, but the track is becoming less and less and less grippy, and he settles it there. He does not feel he's going to improve. At the end of qualifying, it is the Ferrari of Brun who will start the race from pole position ahead of Joe in 2nd place. It's Joel Mullers in 3rd, ahead of Crossfire in 4th place. It's Jessler in a fine 5th in the AlphaTauri, with Rosie, Lynx, Major Castleman, William Talbot and Josh Rose rounding out the top 10 drivers on the grid. Qualifying is over, now it's on to the 22-lap race. Who will be coming away as the victor in the Tier 1 category in the Formula Racing League? We are geared up then for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. The track is dry. I would expect we will get a formation out just so that the drivers get a chance to warm up their tyres and get a feel of the cars on, not necessarily on full fuel tanks, but much heavier fuel tanks to what they would have been racing in qualifying, or doing their laps and during qualifying. They wouldn't actually go and racing. We await the formation lap to begin. And it's not one of the championship contenders that is on pole. That is Brun who's there. Mullers, who's down further in the field, although he may be 3rd on the grid thinking of it. Still right in there though. With the chance to go for the victory. Let me know who your money is on for the victory. And the 5 red lights are coming on now, and we are about to go racing. It's Joe at Spa, and Bran is away well ahead of the Alpine of Joe, who looks to give chase to him, but on a very short run down to La Source. Has been a hit on Joel Mollers. They went into La Source. I don't know who ran into him, but Mollers is well down the field from where he was on the grid. Bran leads then ahead of Joe as they go through Eau Rouge for the first time. All sorts of battling going on further back between the Williams and the McLaren. There's been contact at the back. It's Leaks who retires on the spot, and Castleman is also out. The virtual safety car has been deployed. The Aston Martin and the Williams affected heavily in that both of their races. It's over before it's even started. Joe got ahead of Bran on the exit of Eau Rouge just before the VSC was deployed. But for Castleman and Lynx, they all feel they got hit from behind. There was a couple of side-by-side actions going through Eau Rouge and heading through Radion. And the VSC has been ended by race control, and we can go racing again. And it's Joe who leads in the Alpine. Bran looking to fight back. With Crossfire in 3rd place. Rosie's 4th, ahead of Jesler, Tyrant, Josh Rose, Bids, Coco and Paddy are in the top 10. And look to see who is on what. The only driver starting on the softs is Rosie. Crossfire, Jesler and Tyrant are all on the hards. Mollers is also on hards. He'll be looking to get back into the fray for the race win later. The driver's made up the most positions so far is Paddy. He's made up 7. He's gone from the back to 10th place. And we look to the head of the pack with Bran in 2nd place as they complete the first lap in the race lead. There's someone who's made a mistake there. That's Marcel, who's dropped down the field. Bids and Talbot both in the pit lane, needing new nose cones. Don't know if they picked up floor damage as well. It wouldn't surprise me if they had done, because we saw a couple of spinners in the mayhem. And the DRS is not enabled yet on this game. In last year's regulations, it's the first 2 laps of non-DRS before the DRS is deployed. Bran goes through ahead of Joe into the race lead, into Lecom. And we look at Koga getting through on Tyrant for 7th position. Tyrant not wanting to give it up, but has to on this occasion. Now we look at Mollers. He's looking to make up for the mishap at turn 1, but at least he was involved in that and not the Eau Rouge mayhem that happened very shortly after. Don't know for some if it's going to rain later. Joe is looking to get in the mix here. Non-finish in Mexico City, 4th place finish in Portugal. Now he wants a race win to close down the gap in the championship between him and the likes of Mollers and Rose. And he looks to the outside of Bran as they head towards the bus stop chicane. Bran stays ahead, but Joe is waiting to pounce, as is Rosie in the Red Bull. In fact, Rosie goes ahead of the Alpine. In fact, it was a bit of a tactical allowance of a manoeuvre from Joe, as the Red Bull goes straight into 2nd place. Jesler keeping his car out of trouble as well. And now we look to the top 2, and Rosie, who will have DRS on that Red Bull, sailing past the Ferrari of Bran, and that's him through into the race lead, and he'll look to pull away from there. On the soft compound tyres, remember. I was kind of expecting that he was going to get that move completed. Now is he able to pull away? Now, if a safety car was to be deployed, that would play more into his hands than anyone else. We've got another battle going on between Crossfire and Coco, the battle for what was 6th place. Jeremy is running in 15th position, Bids and Talbot are running at the back. Rosie continuing on. He's not pulled out that 1 second margin over Bran and Joe. Lap 4 of the race now. This race is beginning to fly by at the moment. Will Bran and Joe find themselves back in the race lead? Is Reynolds able to pull away? He's probably thinking about the weather, you know. Although no rain has hit the circuit yet. Moving open on Bran's car, but he's nowhere near to get through. Goes in front of Crossfire into 6th position. Mars is in 8th place now ahead of Paddy. Marcel getting through on Finn for 12th. And we look at Rosie, who continues to lead out in front ahead of Bran and Joe, with Jesler and Rose a bit further back. In fact, Rose is over 3 seconds behind Jesler. There's a time penalty for Coco. That's the first time penalty awarded in this race so far, and that's for track limits. Here's the Red Bull in the lead. Third, that somewhere before. Grant able to bring his Ferrari back ahead. How much will dare into the bus stop chicane as they approach? Well, Bran sensibly waiting it out until they come to the DRS zone, but will he decide to pass in then, or will he wait it out? Well, given that Rosie's tyres will be beginning to fall away by this point, you would think that Bran should just go for it and go ahead, because Rosie's tyres will be beginning to fall off the cliff. Run. It's close enough to go for it now. You can see the difference in tyre grip. Bran goes ahead, and will Joe follow suit into Les Combes? He doesn't go through. I want to get through at some point during the lap. Is that rain that I saw that was coming down, or was that just me thinking of things? Probably the latter. Joe waits behind the Red Bull. Down the hill. Coco running in 7th place ahead of Crossfire still. Looking at his teammate Jesser, 4th place, keeping himself in the running on the hard compound tyres, which means we expect him to go further than everyone else. Two retirements so far. Major Castleman and Lynx are the two drivers out of the race already. Castleman, who had 2 good races in Mexico and Portugal, is not going to be scoring in this. And as for Lynx, well, I haven't seen too much from him this season so far. And here they are going down the hill once more. Top 4. Rosie will be in the DRS range. Get the DRS open now. Will they go back ahead of Brad, or will he decide to wait it out? He's going back ahead, you know, or at least he's trying to. But no, he waits it out there. Mullers goes through into 5th place ahead of Rose. That move was coming all along. It won't be too long, I don't think, before we see Mullers in the fight with these 4. A lovely helicopter angle. See the Ferrari, the Red Bull, the Alpine and the AlphaTauri nose to tail on this legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Not too much is going on in the field as we speak. Clive Luxon's in 10th place behind Paddy as they head towards Fanya. There's an off from Big Balls in the Aston Martin. No harm done, just a spin, and he's able to continue. Run leads by a quarter of a second over Rosie. And it's Joe and Jesler not too far behind. Rosie in P2 behind the Ferrari ahead. Here they come. Rosie, DRS open. He surely must decide to go ahead of the Ferrari this time around. I think Brun recognises that, and so he thinks it may be better for him to let Rosie go. There's no question that Rosie's side is going to be falling off the cliff. We'll have a look on the telemetry. Rosie's got less in there than Brun. Joe's got a little bit more, and Jess has got a little bit less than... He's got less than what Brun and Joe have got, but he's got more than what Rosie has. And there's Mollers in 5th position. Getting the gap over Rose in the Haas. Down the hill. 4 seconds is the margin. He's getting the gap down all the time. There's Brad in 2nd place. Gunning for victory. Rosie looking to take over the championship lead, unless Mullers has anything to say on that. Continues his fight back through the field as they approach the 7th lap. And Rosie is deciding to stay out there on his walnut soft compound tyres. He thinks there's more life left in them. He's clearly managed them very, very well. Down the hill once more. Over each once again. Here's Brun, who will get the DRS open. Will move ahead of the Red Bull. Does Joe think about getting through? You can see the speed difference between the Alpine and the Red Bull. No way through for Joe on this occasion. Jesler with him opening the DRS, which explains why he was able to pull a bit clear of Mullers. He won't have the luxury of the DRS right now. He'll have to think about the pit stops or gain time through the corners. It's all about playing the long game here. It's Rosie in 2nd place, able to keep up with Brun. Half a second behind, so I'd expect Brun to maybe start pushing a little more now to get out of that DRS territory. Blanchimont. And it's the bus stop chicane that they are about to enter, navigate through. Rosie decides to stay out there again in the Red Bull. I'm expecting to be in the pits within the next 3 laps to go on a set of the medium compound. In fact, he's remaining in DRS, he's actually helping his race as well. So Brad needs to start pulling away to push Rosie, making an earlier pit stop. You can see Rosie's slightly offline. He's got the DRS open and he'll go back ahead of Brad before the corner. Now what about Josie looking to make a move as well? He's going ahead of Bran into second place at Lake Om. And that is a genuine change for position. Joe ahead of Bran into second position. And Bran had to accept defeat by allowing Rosie to go through. Joe making the use of the open door. Bran running wide a little bit there. And that almost allowed Jesler to make his way through as well. And this is helping Rosie's race. Lap number 9 we are on. Just the one driver with a track limits penalty, and that's Jericho, who's running in 8th. As it stands with that penalty, he'll drop 2 positions. And there's a yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that's a Mercedes going for a spin, and that'll be Jamie, who's spun round. He's able to continue. And we see Rosie in the pits now in the Red Bull, and this should be a quality pit stop from the Red Bull crew. Josh is coming in as well in the Haas, and Rosie is going back out on a set of the medium compound tyres to go to the end of the race on. And here he comes out. There is Marcel, who'll be up to speed. Just getting up to speed. Marcel will get DRS, probably not on this occasion. Wait and see. No, because he wasn't behind Rosie at the detection point. And there's Jamie getting a new nose cone fitted. And his chances of a good hold point are pretty much over for this one, unless we get a safety car. And Jezza made it through on Joe, for your information, and Brown is back ahead as well. Keep changing positions left, right and centre, these lot. Jezza on the hard compound tyres. Going through Stavelo now. Behind Bran. He's going through the bus stop chicane now. This will open on the AlphaTauri as they head towards the line. Mollers goes into the pits in the Mercedes. He's had enough of the hard compound tyres. He thinks he'll make better use of the mediums. And he puts them on. Now, where will he filter back out? Well, he won't be joining out of Rosie. Rosie's already ahead of him. So he'll probably come back out in 8th position. As he feeds back onto the Spa circuit. It's very much game on. Now, if you are Bran, Jezza and Joe, what do you decide to do? Rosie's been in the pits, Mollers has been in the pits. Do they decide to stay out there in case of a safety car? Will it be the time for them to make the switch? They are probably thinking, I want a set of softs on. And that's what they're looking to do. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if they stayed out there for another 4 or 5 laps. There is Bran, there is Jesler, there is Joe. And we've got a spin involving Marcel, and he's wrecked his front wing. Don't know how he's managed to do that, but he must have hit the wall somewhere. And the last thing I want to be doing is causing a problem to those behind. He's back on the circuit now without a front wing to his car. There's a 3-second time penalty for Big Balls for track limits. Bran comes into the pits, but Jesler and Joe remain out there. Both got the DRS. so should be able to make the most of that. Bran comes into the pits, and it's the hard compound going on. So he doesn't feel the softs are the ones to be on. Rosie comes round. Bran is leaving his pit garage. Rosie coming towards La Source. He'll go ahead of Bran. Now what about Mollers? Does he get through on Bran? The answer is no. Bran keeps track position ahead of him. And now it's going to come down to Jesler and Joe. I'd imagine both of these will remain out there to get the soft compound on later. Crossfire has a time penalty now as well, as is Coco. And that'll be 4 trap limits. We're on lap number 12 of 22. We're into the second half of the race now. We had the virtual safety car briefly deployed following an accident at Eau Rouge involving Major Carlson and Lynx. Not had a retirement since then. 17 still going out of the 19 that have started. Extenses the gap between the two, so Joe will still be in DRS range to attack Jesler if he wants to. But the more they battle, the more ground they will lose to those behind them. And that includes Rosie, Bran and Mollers. So with a time penalty now, he's had a lonely race, one to forget. So with soft compound tyres, so he may decide to go for a fastest lap at this stage. Crossfire has the fastest lap now in the McLaren. We're watching Joe behind Jesler in the battle for the race lead. Rosie at the moment, he's in a net race lead, because there's no way Jesler and Joe will rejoin ahead of him. Changing the weather at the moment, although Mollers has got through on Bran for 4th position, and that is an important manoeuvre for the championship leader Joel Mollers in the Mercedes, and he should be able to pull away from the Ferrari from there. The next one to go after is that of Rosie in 3rd place. He will be in the net race lead once Jesler and Joe come in for their stops. Go at the end of this lap. Paddy unfortunately has lost connection. We hope to see him back in the lobby very quickly. And Jesler comes in, as does Joe now. Now what compound of tyre will it be for both of these? Alpine will stop in his box. This will be AlphaTauri. It's soft compound tyres going on Joe's car. What about Jesler? Mediums it is. He was on the hard compound to start the race on. Rosie goes into the race lead. Mollers, does he go into 2nd place? He does so. Bran will be 3rd. Jesler is in 4th place ahead of Joe. But Joe is on the... Oh, and we've got an accident involving Crossfire, and it looks like he's had an... Is it an accident? No, he stopped in the pits as Crossfire. So he's now out of the race, and he's the 3rd driver to drop out of this one. I thought it was an accident for a moment, but it's not. He stops in the pits, and that's his race run. There we see the Ferrari and the Mercedes. In fact, Bran is ahead of Mollers into P2. They want to be closing in on Rosie very, very soon. Marcel, the new fast lap of the race, is running in 16th position. He needs to be in the top 10 in order to get the fast lap point. And see Crossfire's left the session, he's on out of the race anyway. Mollers in 3rd. Bran in P2. 2.5 seconds is the gap between Rosie in the lead and Bran in second place. Just want Bran to get on with this. Just keep up with him. We'll continue to close in on the Red Bull ahead. Jesler is under threat from Joe. The DRS stands. Or will he? That's a very, very good question, to be fair. Look at Mullers now behind Ferrari again as they head up towards Eau Rouge. I think Mullers will easily make his way through on the Ferrari ahead. Use the DRS to close it on Rosie on this back straight of the Camel. And Joe is not able to get through on Jesler this time, smoking on a quicker tyre. You can see the gap between Rosie and Mullers is 2.9 seconds. You can see Mullers is on a lap younger mediums to what his championship rival is on. Rosie in lead. No sign of the rain coming down. It's unlikely it'll be doing so. Marcel moving in front of Jamie for 15th. No, it's the top 15 who will get championship points. Marcel does have that time penalty, so as it stands, Jamie will move back ahead of him. We'll have a look on the telemetry to see who has got what. Well, Mullers is out of energy at the moment. Rosie's got 19% left in there. Brannon's got 51. Jezza's got 22, and Joe's got 13. And given that Brann is using the DRS, he's not needing to use that much battery. I want Mullers to pull away, but Brannon's got so much more energy in there, and this is playing into the hands of both of these two as they catch Rosie for the race lead. Brand with the DRS open, going for it on Mullers. And he will close in on Rosie. Getting the gap down to 2 seconds. This race is far from over. One of the top 5 could genuinely win this race now. Exciting things here. Left to go in this. 16 out of 22. Brun getting the gap down to 1.8. Another time penalty for Coco. That's the second one of the race, or a third I should say. Lose just the one position though. Now we watch Jesler, who's looking to get through on Mullers. Mullers is really struggling with his ERS battery. There's got nothing left in there, and Jesler is able to go through before they get to Blanchimont. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Rosie and Brann. Brann's got more energy left in there than Rosie has. Look at the telemetry again, and you can see Brann's got a lot more still to what Rosie has got. And what will he decide to do with Jesler? Does he decide to let Jesler go? Or does he keep hold of track position? We'll wait and see. He probably won't fight it because he's still got enough time to catch Rosie. And he'll probably want Jesler to pass him and close in on the Red Bull. DRS open up, and Jesler will go through ahead on the Ferrari. And that's enough to go up into second place. 1.3 seconds now is the gap between Rosie and Jesler. And there's an accident at Eau Rouge, and Coco is retired, and the safety car has been deployed. This race has taken a turn. Everyone has made their stops. But what does Rosie decide to do now? Does he decide to head for the pits and get the soft compound tyres on? Or does he stay out there? You can see that Jamie's coming into the pits. Get tyres on. Marcel's staying out there, but he has to adhere to the delta. He can't go too quick. And the safety car will be out there for a minimum of 2 laps, whilst Coco's car is cleared away. On lap 17, we've got 5 to go at the end of this one. So I think by the time we get back underway, it will be a 3-lap shootout to the finish. Rosie decides to go for the pits. Jesler does, Brand does, Muller does, and Joe does. None of them are prepared to risk it. Rose decides to do here. I think he's got a pit. There's no way he's going to get ahead of them, is he? No, he's coming in. Friplex is coming in. Tyrant will be coming in, I should think. We should have Paddy, Bids, everyone that is still left in the race coming in for a pit stop. And the safety car has picked up the leaders now. Rosie ahead of the AlphaTauri. So it's Rosie leads, headed Jesler, Bran, Mollers and Joe are in the top 5 positions. Joe's gone to a set of mediums, interestingly. He has got that penalty hanging over him as well. And I think with him being in 5th place, he may feel that it's worth taking a bit of a gamble. He may struggle on the restart. But maybe like in the final lap or something, he may be able to make a few positions. The race has very much come alive now. Rosie's win is far from secure. Mollers has the chance to complete a comeback of a drive. I mean, at the back of the field at turn 1 at the beginning. And then coming back through the field, and now he's still got a chance to get through on Rosie, Jesler and Bran to maintain his lead at the top of the Tier 1 Championship. Safety car will remain out there for another lap. As I discuss about the race itself, look at the calendar for this season. They'll be going to all 3 American races. One of them is next, though I don't know which one for certain. We've got obviously Austin, Miami and Las Vegas on there. One of which is hosting round 4, the others hosting rounds 10 and 11. We go to the Red Bull Ring for round 5, and it's Budapest for round 6, Albert Park in round 7, Barcelona in round 8, Silverstone for round 9, and it's the 2 American races for round 10 and 11. And the last round will be at Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. Rosie remaining in the lead still. Crossing over the line now to begin lap 19 under safety car conditions. Everyone behind has the chance to claw the way back here. I think Finn's coming into the pits to get another fresh set of the soft compound put on. You can see Jamie there. He's decided to stay out there. No, he's coming in. He wants to get another set of the soft compound on. He probably realised that he didn't need to come in as soon as he did last time around. So softs go on. And he'll be out on his way. Finn joins in 14, Jamie in 15. And there's your race leader, Rosie. Thinking about the restart here. When does he decide to get the power down? No one is allowed to overtake him before the start-finish line. No DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. Unless I'm wrong on that. It might be after the first lap of the restart. I think it might be the first lap of the restart that there's no DRS. We'll find out later on. Finn's rejoining the back of the field. Jamie will be doing the same shortly. Field coming through. Fanya. Second sector timing beam. Follow. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Rosie will take control of the pace. He's effectively the pace setter. We have 3 laps to go. Decide who wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Rosie looking to take over leadership in the championship as well. Does Rosie decide to go early? Does he go before the bus stop chicane? Or does he go after? Once he floors it, he's committed. Moves away. No one can pass him before the line. We begin lap 20. 3 to go here at Spa. Who will make a move at the end of the Kemmel Straight? And Bram runs wide whilst tussling with Jesler. Does he get back on safely? He had to ride the sausage curve a little bit, and he's lost crucial ground to Jesler. And now we look at Mollos, who needs to get through on Bran. He needs to have any chance. He had to lift off the throttle. Contact made between him and the Ferrari pilot. Side by side they go on the Kemmel Straight. Does Mollos make his way through? He does not, unfortunately, and stays back. Not a lot of positions changing. Talbot is tussling with the Alfa Romeo further back and has to accept defeat. Though he's not giving up by any means. He looks to the outside into Bruxelles, and he is not through on this occasion. Has to tuck back in. Rosie's still in the lead though, with Jaslow in second place within a second. Now they ride the curves once more through Campus and Stavolo. Place behind Bran. He's within DRS range, but so is Bran at the moment on Jesler. Now, will the DRS be enabled at the end of this lap, or will it be another lap before that takes place? And Rosie crosses over the line for a new fast lap, 142.0, and I think we'll be waiting another lap before the DRS is enabled. Mollers gets through on Bran for 3rd position. Not a lot of time left in the race now. Mollers cannot afford to sit back. Bran to get through again, and watch out for Joe is coming through in the Alpine. He may fancy this. He's going side by side with Bran and almost with Mollers as they head towards Les Combes. Bran is there. Does Joe leave him room? He does leave him room just. And he couldn't win out in that one. Bids gets through on Josh for 7th place as Bran gets a time penalty for track limits. That's his hopes of the race win pretty much dashed now. We've got a car off. That is William Talbot in the McLaren. He's had a spin. And he'll just want the race to be over very, very quickly now. There's Rosie in P1. Jessa right behind. They'll be starting the last lap in about half a minute's time. Jesler could be the one taking the victory, although he gets a kick of oversteer as he got the power down out of Campus. Rosie's win is far from safe. Jesler does not have anything to lose at the moment. As far as the championship is concerned, Jesler, I think, is a reserve for this evening. So he has every chance of going for the victory. The DRS is enabled now. This will be Jesler's last chance to get the rear wing open. Mollis is in there as well. He'll have DRS behind Jesler. Here they come then for the last time, through Eau Rouge. Onto the Camel Straight. Does he decide to go for it, Jesler? See Rosie having to conserve the EOS. Jesler won't be close enough to have a go. And Joe is through on Brandt for 4th position. But they've both got the same time penalty, and they'll drop back as it stands behind Kryplax. So Joe needs to get on with it and pull away. Rosie 7/10 clear, doing all he needs to do. Mollis is in 3rd place behind Jesler now. No time left. He's out of energy. They're pretty much all out of energy in terms of the ERS battery. So it's a straight fight for P2 going on between Jesler and the championship leader that's about to be overtaken. That is Mollis. Needing to get back through. Right to the curb at Stavolo. Does Mollis decide to go for it? Into the slipstream going through Blanchimont now. Is Mollis able to get through into 2nd position? Round the outside he goes to Joel Mollis in the Mercedes. Jesler just holds him off. We'll go to Rosie, who's going to take the checkered flag to win the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa in the FRL. Jesler finishes in 2nd place ahead of Joel Mollis, ahead of Joe, who will keep hold of 4th position. Brandt drops down to 7th place with the time penalty applied. But it's Rosie who announces himself as the championship leader, the new championship leader, with victory here at Spa. We wait for the top 3 to head out onto the podium. There is Rosie, who rises to the occasion, quite literally, to the top step of the podium, collects his winner's trophy, and the Red Bull team look on. And so the celebrations are underway, and Rosie can celebrate the win, and taking over the lead in the championship from Mollis. Going into the US, that'll be happening next week. So Rosie wins, gets the fast start of the race. That's another championship point coming his way. Jesler in 2nd, ahead of Joel Mollis. Then it's Joe in 4th position. Kryplax making it to 5th from the back of the grid, ahead of Bids and Brandt. Tyrant was 8th, ahead of Josh, ahead of Big Balls, ahead of Marcel, Finn, Paddy, Jamie and William. Talbot completing the finishes. Coco didn't finish, neither did Crossfire. Major Cosman and Lynx also didn't finish. As far as the championship is concerned, Rosie collects 41 championship points, whereas Joel Mullers collects only 26. So Rosie has a 14-point lead in the championship now that he moves ahead of his cycle rival. That's it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching us. Do make sure you like and subscribe in case you haven't already done so. You can get right up to date with everything that's happening in the FRL by joining the Discord or in fact the Instagram account that the league has. I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching us. Hopefully your full-time commentators will be back for next week, and we will speak to you again soon. I'm Tom Cairns, and I will speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.